This is why you keep your old Twilight merch, so you can bring it out for videos like this. I do also own a Team Edward t-shirt, but it is in South Australia. And you know, this one also, you know, goes with my hair more. Hi, I'm Kat, and back in high school I was known as the Twilight girl because I was obsessed. And I still own a lot of Twilight merch. And also while I was back home visiting my friends and family, I discovered I also have a lot of Twilight magazines still there. There's a lot of things from my teen years that I never threw away just in case I wanted to look at it again in the future. And now is the time to look at these Twilight magazines. I have not read them in years, so I'm not entirely sure what we're going to find. These ones are Australian magazines. These two are Dolly, rest in peace. This one is the Unauthorized Twilight Fanpire mag from September 2009. And this one is also a Fanpire mag. It is from April 2010. And this one is Girlfriend. I think Girlfriend is still running. And it is the New Moon edition, and it is from 2009. It doesn't say which month, it just says New Moon 2009. So these are like 11 and 12 years old. Oh my god. Also back home I have a lot of just like everyday teen mags, so if you ever want me to react to those, I have them from like 2008 to maybe 2013. I don't know when I stopped reading them. So yeah, if you ever want to see those, let me know. So let's start with this one, because on the back of it is an ad for Vampire Academy, which means is that, yes, I remember this. It's got a 2-page ad spread for Vampire Academy. It only goes up to Spiritbound. Last book wasn't even out yet. Bloodlines didn't exist then. Came out on the 18th of May. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just gonna look at them. So we have Robert Pattinson on the cover with vampire teeth. I'm sure he loved this photo shoot. We've got Killer Fashion and Beauty, 30 pages of hot on-screen and off-screen looks, yours to steal. Oh. And then there's I've seen Twilight 245 times. Meet the world's most extreme fans. I don't know how many times I've seen the movie, but and then Your Ultimate Guide to Everything Undead. Hope there's zombies in there too. And then from Buffy to Bella, the history of vampires. The history of vampires started before Buffy, guys. Oh, and then we've got an ad for Beautiful Creatures and the Strange Angels books. Oh, the A to Z of vampires. A is for angel, B is for bat, D is for Dracula, C is for corpse. Fangs. Why did you put Jason Stackhouse here under Fangs? Jason is a human. He never becomes a vampire. True Blood. Oh wait, no. It's because it's J is for Jason Stackhouse. Okay, I get it. The OC! Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite things about the Twilight movies is that there are so many OC actors in it, and the OC is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Xavier Samuels! A little known Aussie actor who shot to fame literally overnight when he was cast in Eclipse. He's also from South Australia and was friends with my high school's counsellor. Australia, big country, small community. Cool. Recipe for Robert. We reveal the secret ingredients that help make the world's most famous Patterson so damn tasty. Wow. Rob's favorites, actress Kristen Stewart. I'm sure that's his favorite actress. Robston, are they or aren't they? I mean, I think they were, but then, you know, she doesn't like guys, so. Oh, and then there's Kristen Stewart. Oh, and then we've got one about Taylor Lautner. Spoiler alert, Tay was shocked to hear Jacob imprints on Renesmee in Breaking Dawn. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Jokingly acting out the scene, he laughs, hey Bella, your daughter, she's smoking. Yeah, even he thought it was weird. Oh, look, there's Taylor Squared. Everybody remember Taylor Squared? How much, like, we shipped them? The Taylors were so cute together on the set of Valentine's Day. Oh, and then we've got the Vampire Diaries. I was also obsessed with the Vampire Diaries. Love the first 4 seasons. Don't know what they were doing after that. Paul Wesley. Never liked Stefan, but Paul Wesley himself seems like a cool guy. The Vampire Diaries airs on Go Monday night at 8:30. Coming soon to DVD in 2010. So, The Vampire Diaries did air on Go every Monday night until halfway through the second season, and then one day it was just gone. Don't know why, just wasn't there anymore. So The Vampire Diaries was the first ever show that I streamed on streaming sites because they gave me no other choice. It is free-to-air Australia's fault that I discovered streaming. Oh, all about Ashley. There's some stuff about Ashley Green. How's she doing? We don't really hear much about her these days. Oh. Nuts for Lutz. Nikki Reed, wild at heart. She was one of the people that was in the OC. Jack of all trades, Jackson Rathbone. Love that guy. Oh, and then we're on to some True Blood stuff. So in 2010, I had not seen True Blood yet, but I have now. And Bill, wasn't it? I'm also kind of surprised that they have so much True Blood stuff in here when it is an R-rated TV show and this magazine is, you know, targeted towards people under the age of 18. Boys of Bontemps. I mean, we could have gone a little further on Alexander Skarsgård because definitely liked Eric more. His dad's a movie star. Yeah, you ever seen Mamma Mia? And we've got Dakota Fanning. What's Dakota Fanning up to these days? Because don't see much of her these days either. Oh, the X Factor. Oh, look, there's Xavier Samuels. He got his own 2-page spread because support our Aussies. Oh, the pages are sticking together. Oh, and then we have New Blood, meet Hollywood's latest undead. Bryce Dallas Howard as Victoria. Back in the days when we didn't know who Bryce Dallas Howard was. And then Style to Die For. Oh my god, let's see what fashion was doing. Oh, okay, so we're on like Kristen Stewart's fashion. I remember loving this dress and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, maybe not. Yes, because we looked at this woman here and said, oh, she's straight. And then we have their own photo shoot into the woods, which my brain doesn't go to vampires. It starts singing. Oh yes, this is it's a very Bella outfit here with the long sleeve and then the stuff over the top. We were really going for Twilight vibes here, which I think they successfully achieved. And then we have the makeup section. Hooked on Talons. And this lady here, she just seems to be wearing like lip liner and nothing in her, like on the lips. And was that the fashion? Because mine just does that on its own because of my overbite. Like lipstick just doesn't work and I end up with a ring around. So is that fashion? Spoiler alert, Eclipse exposed. We braved life and limb to get you the inside goss on what to expect from the next installment of Twilight. Number 1, big battles. Well, obviously. 2, drama, drama, drama. Don't worry, it's not all epic battle scenes and CGI fighting sequences. New Moon set up a love triangle with Bella, Edward, and Jacob, says Taylor. We explore that further in Eclipse. It's a tough situation for all of them because Bella is torn between 2 guys. Jacob can't get the girl that he loves, and then there's Edward with all his issues. Spoiler 4, more hot buddies. We all know the appeal of the vampire family, says Nikki Reed, who plays Vampire Rosalie, but the werewolf boys are on a whole different level. Twyberspace? Twyberspace. Oh my god. Which cyber team are you on? Team Oldies, twilightmoms.com. Team Rosalie and Emmett, rosalieandemmett.net. I wonder if all of these still exist. Team Bella and Edward, bellaandedward.com. Remember the days when we actually used to like go to different websites for things instead of just going on social media? Oh, Team Australia, robertpattersonau.com, twilightaustralia.net, aussietwilightmoms.com. Team Gwilac, twilightformen.blogspot.com. Team Twisted, twittarted.blogspot.com. What? Oh, no. Okay. Team Fanfiction, twilighted.net. I actually remembered that one like a few weeks ago and I was like, does this still exist? And it does. Twilighted.net is where I first started reading fanfiction. Bitten by the bug, vampires in pop culture. Twilight Mania has firmly placed vampires and werewolves at the center of pop culture consciousness, with the undead shape-shifting folk turning up in the most unlikely places. I wonder if this is the article that inspired me to do my high school research project on how vampires have affected the media and pop culture. And I got an A+ on that. So apparently you can buy a blood energy drink. And then there's an ad for tampons using a vampire. Oh, yep. The Twilight cover of Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. That is the copy that I own. It has a sticker on it saying Bella and Edward's favorite book. And I bought it because of Bella and Edward. And I hated it. Fangirls. We met 6 bona fide Twilight fangirls who put your obsession to shame. I have a Twilight shrine. I had one of those too. So I turned my Twilight obsession into a career. Which, yeah. I would love to turn my obsession into books into a career. So please subscribe. The stories about people who make conventions and tourisms and merch all about Twilight. So many people ended up like getting a start from Twilight and building businesses. It's kind of amazing actually. Dollywood reality check, the Twilight edition. Hot hookups, crazy catfights, what hasn't been written about the cast. We ask if it's fact or fiction. Zac Efron will play Edward's brother. False. Well, because Edward doesn't have a brother. Robert Pattinson had a swine flu scare. True. Oh, you guys remember swine flu? We thought that was bad. Taylor Lautner gets paid for each of his abs. False. Okay. Robert Pattinson to play Spider-Man? False. No, not Spider-Man. Breaking Dawn will be split into 2 films just like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It hasn't been confirmed, but speculation is strong that the producers will split the final movie. The studio is keeping tight-lipped. As we have said all along, we are continuing to work on Stephenie Meyer to bring Breaking Dawn to the big screen, says a rep for Summit Entertainment. Wow. It was 2 parts. They got that one right. Hot off the set, it's no coincidence that some of the hottest dudes on the planet star in our fave on-screen vampire tales. Here's our picks for the finest. Okay, let's go from 10th to 1st. So they've ranked 10 actors to see on how hot they are. 10th place, Alan Hyde. The fresh-faced steps showed maturity beyond his years as Godric in True Blood. Whoa, he looks nothing like he does in the show. Wow. 9th place, Paul Wesley. 8th place, Kellen Lutz. 7th place, Alexander Skarsgård. 6th place, Jackson Rathbone. 5th place, Mehcad Brooks. 4th place, Taylor Lautner. 3rd place, Ian Somerhalder. 2nd place, Ryan Quanten. And 1st place, Robert Pattinson. I personally would not have put Robert Pattinson at number 1. The truth behind Breaking Dawn rumors. Ooh. Rumor, Breaking Dawn will be split into 2 parts. That was true. Rumor, the new Moon director will also work on Breaking Dawn. No, we did not. Rumor, not all the cast will be returning. I think everyone came back. Rumor, Renesmee. Renesmee will be computer generated. She was a bit, it was something. Rumor, Abigail Breslin will play Renesmee. No, she did not. Oh, there's a quiz. Okay. There's 25 questions. I don't want to answer all of them. I saw the words Henry Cavill. Yeah, and that's, yes, the answer. Which actor did Stephenie Meyer suggest for the role of Edward before Rob was cast? Well, yes. And then it has Chase Crawford, Henry Cavill, or Cam Chigande. It was Henry Cavill, I know that one. Oh, and then there's a Vampire Diaries, how much do you know? It's a long quiz. If you want me to take these quizzes at some point, let me know. And then there's posters. Oh, Sookie and Bill. And Robert Pattinson, which I would never want that on my wall, that picture there. Like, it's probably why it's still in the magazine and I never ripped it out. And then Bella and Edward, and then an ad for, what book series was that? I know it's a book series. It just says coming soon, which is a terrible marketing strategy. And then that's a great marketing strategy. I know what book it is, I know what author it is, and I know when it's coming. So that's the first magazine. Okay, let's go the other dolly one. This one is all about Twilight by the looks of it. On the back, we have a picture of Robert and Kristen. And I'm sure they loved this photo shoot. Here's the holder, they're in the rain. Oh, it is an 148 page dolly special. Team Edward versus Team Jacob. Read page 84 before you take sides. It looks like we're going into the story of Twilight. Story time. My camera battery died and I didn't charge it all the way, so we'll see how long this lasts. Now, it was story time. Let's start from the beginning again. There once lived a girl named Bella Swan. She moved to Forks, where she met Jacob and Billy Black. At school, her nerves were soon forgotten when she spotted Edward Cullen. Although he was indifferent towards her in class, he saved her from danger twice, making her even more curious about who he really was. Despite Edward's attempts to lie about his supernatural abilities, Bella insisted he tell her the truth about him and his unusual family. You're impossibly fast and strong. Your skin is pale white and ice cold. Your eyes change color, and sometimes when you speak, like you're from a different time. You never eat or drink anything. You don't go out in the sunlight. As both Edward and Bella let their guard down, their love quickly blossomed, raising more than a few eyebrows around Forks. The unlikely couple became inseparable. He struggled to control himself around her. The Cullens welcomed her into their family, even inviting her to watch them play baseball. Despite the fact that they were all vampires, she was safe around them, as they fed only on the blood of animals, not humans. The game turned ugly when 3 evil vampires arrived: James, Laurent, and Victoria. James sensed how important Bella was to Edward and set his sights on her. James captured Bella and tried to kill her. He very nearly succeeded. Edward raced to rescue her and killed James. I may not die now, but I'm going to die sometime. Every minute of the day, I get closer. And I'm going to get old. Alice already saw it, didn't she? That's why the thing she says upsets you. She knows I'm going to be like you someday, said Bella Swan. The couple, now safe from James, hit the school prom where Bella asked Edward to turn her to become a vampire. With her lover James dead, Victoria was desperate for revenge. It was clear things wouldn't stay peaceful for long. Oh, then there's a map of Forks, the Twilight director's notebook. I actually have this actual book, but it is not with me. It is in South Australia, and I loved that Catherine Hardwicke published her director's notebook because I was so interested in all the ideas she had for things. And you'll see there's sketches for costumes and then scouting locations and script stuff. And oh, I wish the rest of the directors had done that. One look at the 23-year-old Brit boy. Oh my god, 23. I am now older than when he was in Twilight. Oh look, there's Vanessa Hudgens and Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato. Oh, and for some reason Russell Brand. Oh, Taylor and Selena. Oh, remember the days of Taylor and Selena and Taylor and Taylor? New Moon, the saga continues. Yes, because this one, so the last one was just after Eclipse had come out, and this one was just after New Moon. Under the Tuscan Moon. I remember when these photos came out and I was scrolling through Twilight blogs and I was like, oh my god, that scene. And I remember everyone being like, oh my god, they're kissing longer than they really should be. They must be together. And oh my god. There's, oh fuck. Oh, there's Robert Pattinson eating a chocolate bar. Twilight cast plus diehard fans equals fandemonium. I really feel like Twilight was a cornerstone of how fandom is today. Yes, there were already intense fans before Twilight era, but this just really took it to another level. It's before Twilight. There is so many movies I watched just because Kristen Stewart was in them, and never watching The Messengers again. Oh, fabulous picture of Robert Pattinson here. Sure, he appreciates that. Star Wars, but not actually. Oh, these are the pages that we're meant to read before we make up our minds about whether we're Team Edward or Team Jacob. So, for Team Edward, he's mysterious. He's selfless. He's cheeky. He's intuitive. He's a total romantic. He's a daredevil. For Team Jacob, he's a tease because that's what we want. He's protective. He's funny. He's loyal. He's devoted. He's driven. Game stats, age 16. Game stats, age 108. After dark, Twilight stars come out to play. Okay. A lot of paparazzi shots, which I don't know how I feel about paparazzi shots these days. Oh, and there's more. Forks tours. One day I will go to Forks and I will visit all of the places. Eclipse, the sneak peek. Oh, new face. Yep, when Bryce Dallas Howard took over from Rochelle Lefrey. Why is Channing Tatum on here? Channing Tatum was named as a favorite by Eclipse screenwriter Melissa Rosenberg. There's a very big battle at the end with Riley, and I think Channing would do that so well. Could you imagine if Channing Tatum was Riley in Eclipse? Oh, how to dress like Bella. The khaki pants. Which Twilight girl are you? I can do this. Start here. I am a shy person. Not as shy as I used to be, but if in public, I'm still, so yes. I feel awkward in most social situations, yes. I love intense, mysterious guys. I don't know, maybe no in real life. I often get struck by the green-eyed monster. I get jealous. Not so much. I'm a total bookworm, yes. I believe in love at first sight. I mean, I've never experienced it myself, so I'm just gonna go with no. I have a tendency to overanalyze things. Depends on the things. I'm gonna go no. Which brings me to Rosalie, which plot twist, because I very easily could have been Bella, but I apparently am Rosalie. You're girly, proud, and not afraid to speak your mind, just like Rosalie. With your striking looks, great style, and fiery streak, you can be intimidating, but deep down you're loyal, caring, and sweet. You just take a while to open up. Am I intimidating? That is not a word I ever would use to describe me. And at the back, an ad for Supre. Remember, like, I can't remember if this top is from Supre, but I definitely have Twilight and vampire tops from Supre. Remember when they actually did things like this instead of what they're doing now? And lastly, Girlfriend, New Moon Edition. OMG, Taylor's got us howling. New Swoon, exclusive inside the love triangle. How to handle a breakup better than Bella. And that's probably some solid advice. My God. So you think you can dance, Get Fit DVDs, and The City. So how you age something. An ad for Billabong, an ad for Valley Girl, an ad for Rimmel London, an ad for Proactive with Delta Goodrum, letter from the editor, and an ad for the Harajuku Lovers fragrance, which is thingamabobbies. Gwen Stefani's. There's a picture of Short Stack in here. Oh my God. Some people met Short Stack inside of a store. I have also met Short Stack and going to see them live finally. Their reunion show has been rescheduled 3 times. Okay, so this one is mostly like a normal magazine, I think, because there's Lady Gaga here, but then there's like, they have a heavy focus on the vampire stuff. Puppy love. What do you think of Australian girls? Taylor, they're lovely. I went to Australia last year for a convention and it was a lot of fun. You know what? I realized that Twilight fans are all the same around the world. They're extremely passionate whether you're in Australia, Tokyo, or America. Way to avoid the question, Taylor. Well, you could buy some New Moon merchandise at Target, which I'm sure I did. Team Switzerland. Can't decide whether you're Team Edward or Team Jacob. Neither can we, so we've put a handy list of pros and cons together. An ad for the Sweet Life on deck. Oh yeah, there's not too much in this one. Oh, and then the boyfriend section of Girlfriend. It's a how to date Alex Mraz. Oh, I'm sure we all dated him, right? Then top 3 hotties. Number 3, Stephen R. McQueen. Number 2, Xavier Samuels. And number 1, Jack Carpenter. How to handle a breakup better than Bella Swan. Remember, your boyfriend isn't everything. You do get over your first love. Do not self-destruct. Get help. They're just straight up like, don't do that. How to tell if your boyfriend is a vampire. Disclaimer, we know, as much as we dream of meeting Edward Cullen, vampires aren't actually real. Or are they? This is how to tell if your boyfriend is a vampire. 1. You've never seen him eat garlic bread with his pasta. His skin is paler than Casper, the friendly ghost. He makes frequent visits to the blood bank. He arrives at your house in superhuman speed. His eyes change color when he's thirsty. He doesn't have a bed. He shows an unnatural interest in your neck. He has rock hard abs, literally. When he hasn't eaten, he totally goes ape. He acts a lot older than his age. His family always makes you feel like an outsider. He has a skin disorder that makes him shimmer in the sun. He answers your questions before you ask them. I mean, unless we're like Bella and no one can like read our mind. Look at these phones. Oh my god, prepaid or plan, which should you get? Oh, the web slider. I had one of those. I had the pink one. Oh, the girlfriend advice rip open section, which I did rip open. And so I don't know if other magazines overseas had this thing section, but like there's maybe like 4 or 5 pages and it was always sealed because it like talked about things like your body and sex and all of that type of stuff, which some parents didn't want, like, you know, their daughters reading. So it literally says sealed info may offend. This one is all about contraception. Like, it's good that they always had this stuff, but also like the fact that they had to put a contraception like advice in a sealed section. And then there's like all of the questions. There's a 20% off discount code for Borders. Rest in peace, Borders. And I never used it because you could use it on, it was a girlfriend book club book and it was one of the Angus Songs and Perfect Snogging books. Oh, and then there's an ad for all of like the girlfriend books. I read the first 3 and I never got the rest of them. An ad for TV Hits. Does TV Hits still exist? Oh, then an ad for some manga, especially Vampire Night. I definitely watched that. And yeah, just a whole bunch of things that they love. So they definitely advertised more Twilight on the front of this one than was actually in the magazine. But there you go. There are some old school magazines that I kept, and I can't wait to like I'm gonna keep them, and maybe my camera battery died again and I'm so close to the end, so I'm just not even gonna recharge it right now. But yes, so gonna keep the magazines. Maybe I'll read them again in 20 years and just, you know, see what we thought back then. Let me know if you want me to do like the quizzes that were in here, or if you want me to get all of my other magazines which are non-Twilight related from my teen years and react to those. Comment down below if you were known as the Twilight person when you were in high school as well. If you like were a Team Jacob or Team Edward or Team Switzerland. And if you don't know what else to comment, just comment either a vampire or a werewolf emoji. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and check out some of my other videos.